What is going on, guys? This is Versatile Gaming with my review of Horizon episode 25, and here we are finally at the end of the first season. That's right, the first season, because at the end of episode 25, they actually confirmed that we are getting a season 2 and it will air this fall. So that right there, I am definitely excited for because I cannot wait. Personally, I love Horizon. It is definitely one of my favorite animes from last year, so I'm glad that I did check it out, and I'm glad that I reviewed it for you guys, because to me, it's a very good series. I do hope that the more people get into it, because to me, Horizon was very good. To be honest, I wouldn't mind being in the game in like Horizon, because to me, it seemed very fun. But the episode, of course, it starts off with where we picked off from last week, where we have Shiro here, who actually went to go meet Lord Marvis. And not only that, we have Krusty, and we have the other guy, the leader of the Marine Agency. I believe his name is Michika. Not sure if that was his name or not, but we see now that Shiro here. This here I cannot deny, he was kind of being a bit of a dick to the princess. He was being, very mean when he was like scolding her. But we see now that, later on in the episode, he actually explained how he, he had to do this because they're the good cop and the bad cop. And Shiro here, he does way too good of a job being a bad cop. That right there, is obvious, because not many people here, really trust him. But we see that Lord Marvis, apparently everything he said was like a lie. This letter here that he supposedly sent to the princess and she lost, he never really did. But Shiro here, thanks to his high level, when it comes to a subclass scribe, he was able to forge the letter. And not only that, he was also able to mimic Lord Marvis' signature perfectly. Now, I don't know how he can do that, but I'm pretty sure this is their first time, ever meeting Lord Marvis, so I don't know how he knew how he writes. But apparently, he actually got it down pretty good. And so we see that when Lord Marvis saw the letter, he was like very surprised at this. But now they were saying that, all of the warehouses, they're now full. And so, of course, all these supplies that he bought, which I do believe he said that he bought around 500 tons, I think he said. Like, apparently, he bought some like crazy number of supplies. And we see now that Michika here, he was saying that all of the round table warehouses, they were full. But when it comes to his own guild, his Marine Agency, they can hold like over 5,000, like 500,000 tons, I believe he said. It was some like high number. And so, of course, Dibber here would be no problem for them. But now Krusty, who looks so freaking serious, and he looked really epic as well, we see now that he was saying that he was hoping that what Lord Marvis was saying was not a lie, and that there were no supplies at all. And so, of course, now, his whole plan has gone down the drain, and Lord Marvis, had no choice but to withdraw. So now he pretends that he's not feeling well, and he pulls back, and we see later on that, he actually left. So it seems that he was nothing more than a liar. But now we go to the festival, and we see now that we're now doing a fashion show, and we have all the people that we should be very familiar with in it. And we see now that Krusty here, he was escorting the princess to her own little couch, and we see that the what were they called, the Black Sword, I think it was. I'm trying to remember the name here. The Black Sword, I think it was, or like Silver Sword, something like that. And we see now that they're going to be, her security. And of course, they were going to allow people to come up there and greet her. And some players were like very nervous about that. And they even thought that they weren't worthy. And so now we see that the first one to go up there, it was Michika and his own guild. They had went up there. And when Minori was like walking around, she overheard the people talking about Shiro and how he was so mean to the princess. And so, of course, that right there is not good for his image. But she actually went to Shiro, who was back on top of the guild building. And when him and Minori were talking, she was asking him, by him being this way, on purpose, does this not hurt him? And he said that, he like never really thought about that. So it's obvious Minori, she's always paying attention here, and she's always like noticing every little thing. And it was nice that, Shiro did greet her, did praise her and all. But we have Akatsuki here, who was like listening to what they were saying. and you know, and she left because she was depressed, because all this time that she had spent with Shiro, she had never once picked up on that. And so now we have Shiro, you know, like later on, he actually goes to meet with somebody. And when he goes there, we finally see this mysterious woman that had been, you know, playing a bigger role in the series that we haven't seen so far. And so now we find out that, you know, that this form that we seem to have so far is actually a disguise. And apparently, you know, it's like some kind of new spell that she made. And so her real name is called Nureha, and she is the leader of the West. And you know, in the West, she has this one guild that is all under her control. I believe it's called Plan Hiweden. Probably not saying that right, but in her guild, she controls everything, even the people of the land. Like even the nobles she controls. She has that much power. And so basically, you know, we like learn about her, and apparently back in reality, you know, people, you know, like always ignored her or just forgot her existence. Like they even forgot her name, and she was saying like she was like nothing but air. And so now when she first found Elder Tale, you know, started playing it, she was saying that an enchanter had once praised her for her skills. And of course, you know, Shiro was like thinking that was him, but then she said that was a lie, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't. I have a feeling that, you know, that her and Shiro, they had like some kind of past, but we don't really, you know, go into that. But her race being the foxtail is very interesting. But I also want to bring out, like, at one point it seemed like she had, you know, more than like one tail. But then when we see her real form, you know, she has one tail. So I do wonder, you know, why it's like that. But apparently she like really wants Shiro, and she would do anything to get him. Like she was offering him all the information. She was offering him like the power, and like the power of the nobles and their wealth as well. Basically, she's like wouldn't do anything to get Shiro to come to her side. And of course, Shiro here, who we know characters like very complicated. If there was this Shiro, you know, at the start of the series, I do feel like that he probably would have like went with her. But now that Shiro has his guild and everything, and he has these people that he wants to protect that are his friends, he cannot go with her because he has finally found a reason like to do all these things. And apparently, you know, he's like testing out this spell that could possibly, you know, send everybody back to the real world. But for now, all he knows is that they'll to make them, you know, just disappear. It's hard to tell if they'll go back to the real world or not. So that right there is a huge freaking step. But we see that Nureha, she is not giving up. And of course, you know, she's planning to do whatever it takes to get to Shiro, because right before she like disappears, she says, you know, one day Shiro will be hers. And I gotta say, like the power she had, or whatever, you know, ability she was using, it was very cool, because her body, you know, became like black butterflies, or, you know, or something like that, and she just like flew away. But when her eyes were glowing, now that right there was a bit freaky. But overall, I gotta say, I do like Nureha's design, but I do wonder, you know, what made her hide her real appearance. I'm guessing, you know, she didn't want people to figure out it was her. But we see now that afterwards, the festival here, it is, you know, like coming to an end, and we see now that they are, you know, like making like this bonfire kind of thing, because we see that they're like setting up large stacks of wood, and we see at one point, you know, that they do set them on fire. But now we have Marie, we have Nayanta, Natsugo, and Sabara, and they were talking about, you know, all these other events, like all the other events that they can do festivals on, like Christmas, like New Year, stuff like that. And I gotta say, like them having time like this, I do like, because it does seem pretty fun, and we get to see these character bond. So I wouldn't mind actually if we got like some OVAs where they actually, you know, had more festivals during like holiday time, because that would, to me, it would be very cool. But now we see that at the end we have Log Horizon all together, and they were all eating, of course, and it seems like Shiro still did not feel like a leader, but he's like definitely planning something, as we see now that Nayanta here, we have Nayanta saying that if Shiro gave them an order, they'll of course follow it. And we see now that all the members of Log Horizon, they're now backing Shiro up, of course. And when he said that he would like counted on Akatsuki, I did find a moment, you know, very cute. And I do hope that at one point, you know, these two characters do get together, But I'm still wondering, if this is the way Akatsuki still looks in the real world. Because for some reason, I just don't think that she does. I don't know why, but to me, I'm very doubtful about that. But we see now that they're all in the forest training or, fighting. And we see now that I'm pretty sure that we saw some new skills that we didn't see before. Because I saw like Toya here with like some kind of like emblem shield in front of him. And then we have Rudy who also shot out some like rainbow spell as well. And so we see now that they're fighting goblins. And so I'm pretty sure that, Lord Horizon here is planning on taking down the Goblin King by himself. Now that right there is just what I think, because they were fighting goblins. They were fighting goblins, so it does make sense. But I could be wrong, because maybe it could be goblins that was just like roaming around. But we actually do see them, taking down one of the giant ones, and it was epic, seeing them all attack together. So that right there was epic. Like always, the animation for these spells is always so beautiful and epic. I definitely liked it a lot. But we see now that Shiro here, he actually went back to that sage, and we actually learned that he left Akihabara. And so that right there, definitely surprised me, because at first, he was not going to leave with Nureha. So I am surprised that he left on his own. That right there was a bit surprising to me. But now the sage here, he actually wants to go with them. So I do wonder if Shiro might use that spell to like make him an adventurer. So that way we don't have to worry about, the sage dying. Oh, and also Nureha, this woman, I forgot about this, but she is very cunning, because not only did she control the West, but the way that she started this, it was by buying the cathedral where where players respawn when they die. So I do wonder, if they would have died, would they go somewhere else because she owned it? But apparently she had forced everybody in the West to like join her guild, and that's why there's like only one. So that right there, this woman is very cunning. But overall, like I said, I do like her design though. But at the end, they did announce a season 2 airing this fall, and I really can't wait. Now, if we do get OVAs in the meantime, I might review them. I'm not really sure, but I will definitely review season 2, because like I said, season 1, I definitely loved it a lot. So please let me know what your thoughts were on season 1, because like I said, I loved it. This is definitely one of my favorite animes out of this season and last season, because it did go on for a while. But as always, please do not forget to like the video and subscribe, because that really helps me out. And you guys take it easy. I will see you all in season 2.